Hello, Gear Up community. Welcome to our webinar today. My name is April Bell, and I am the Director of Constituent Relations here at INSEP. And today, which is Thursday, March 25th, 2021, and it is 2 p.m., I want to introduce you to today's webinar, which is entitled Gear Up, Level Up, College Signing Day with Reach Higher. So, as you know, Gear Up community, together we rise. Just like the highways and byways, telephone lines and Zoom lines, we are all connected. And we get connected through webinars so we can learn together, grow together, and figure out new ways and exciting ways to grow our Gear Up community with our students and families. And so, we like you to participate. Whether you're an online viewer, using a desktop, a cell phone, or an online laptop or pad, you can participate. We're going to have some engaging opportunities for you to answer some poll questions. Also, we want you to share comments and have your questions ready for our expert presenter near the closing of our webinar. Also, we have a handout. And so you can access that handout where it says handouts, it says number 1, and that's the Reach Higher Toolkit for you to download. In addition, please note that this webinar is being recorded, so you will receive a thank you email from me, and it'll be a link to the recording to this email, as well as all of the handouts. And so, let's get started with the polls. Let's go to the polls. So I'm going to launch poll question number 1. We are so excited to hear who is joining us today. We'd like you to respond to the question, are you a Gear Up director? Are you a Gear Up coordinator, which is our largest community in the Gear Up? Gear Up coordinators are our largest member group. Are you a Gear Up college access professional or a Gear Up family engagement specialist? So I see the polls growing right now. 80% of the attendees are Gear Up coordinators, which that is so exciting. I see we have some other members within our education community, and I'm sure we have a host of Gear Up titles. And because we have so many different titles, that's fine to check other, or you can continue to choose from the other options. And again, the poll is growing. So right now we have 67% coordinators and 33% other. So I'm gonna give you 2 more seconds to respond, and then we're gonna go to the next question. So thank you, I'm excited that we have so many different Gear Up professionals joining us. So now we're gonna go to poll question number 2. How familiar are you with Reach Higher and College Signing Day? So you're either extremely familiar or moderately familiar, or you're unfamiliar. I'm like, I'm new. Talk to me about this. Or you're not sure. You may have heard of it. You're not sure. Did a colleague tell you? You heard some seniors talking about it. 14% right now, extremely familiar. 14% moderately familiar. We do have 50% of the attendees unfamiliar, and that is awesome because our expert presenter is ready to recap some things from a few years ago, recap some things from last year, and a host of new information. So this is the perfect webinar to be on. We have 10% that aren't sure. At this point, still 50% unfamiliar. 20% of our participants are moderately familiar, and 20% extremely. That's great to know as we share this expert information with you. And so I'm going to close this poll now, and we're going to go to the next poll. How many college signing days or decision days have you either led or participated in? 3 or more, 1 or 2, or none, which is totally okay because after this webinar, you're going to be doing one this year If you have sixth graders, 6 years from now. If you have eighth graders, about 5 or 4 years from now. So this is good news for everybody. So right now we have 11% of our attendees have hosted or led a college signing day or decision day, 3 or more. 33% of our attendees, 1 to 2. And then 56% of our participants joining us today have never led or participated in a college signing day or decision day. This is great information because our expert presenter will be able to understand and know how to direct you in the next steps for this work. And so at this time, I am so excited to share with you who is joining us. His name is Scott Anderson, and he is the Senior Director with Common App's Reach Higher Initiative. And he is excited to share with you. So at this time, I am going to hand over the controls to Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, April, and hi, everybody. I'm so glad I could be here with you today. I'm going to make sure that I can advance the slides. There we go. And I tell you what, for the sake of helping you pay attention to the information, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off so that you don't have to pay attention to me, but I'll come back on for the Q&A later in the program. Great. So April, thank you so much for inviting me to be here and talk to all of the Gear Up educators that we've got with us today. April, can you? Oh, never mind. Sorry, my apologies. Thought my microphone wasn't working, but it is. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here on behalf of Reach Higher, Better Make Room, and Common App. And you might be wondering, why are there 3 organizations sponsoring this? And actually, it's really just one. We're all together, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in the beginning. I want to say that what you're going to see today is a bit text heavy in terms of presentation, and that's because what you're seeing is our toolkit, which is designed to be sent out to folks who don't necessarily have access to webinar narratives like this one. I promise I will not read everything to you, but I'll also promise that there's going to be some additional insights and information that I provide, which is not sort of bonus information, not included in the toolkit itself. So why don't we go ahead and get started. Oops. Tricky mouse action going on there. So Reach Higher was founded by former First Lady Michelle Obama when she was in the White House, and it was an initiative to inspire students, especially first-generation students like herself, to aspire to continue their education past college. And Reach Higher was initially designed to inspire students, but it was also designed to reach the counseling community and engage counselors, broadly define the counseling community, not just school counselors, but Gear Up counselors and community-based organizations and other college access professionals, designed to engage them to connect with students. It was housed at the White House website, but what became pretty clear early on was that 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds were not going to whitehouse.gov very often. And so Reach Higher launched a program called Better Make Room, which was the student-facing campaign. And if any of you have been on our website or seen any of our materials, you'll notice that Better Make Room, as opposed to Reach Higher, is much more bright and vibrant in terms of its colors and its branding, and it really was designed to connect with the age group of students that we're trying to reach. In 2019, not 2018, Reach Higher and its Better Make Room student-facing campaign became part of the Common Application. Common App, some of you know, I hope, has been around since 1975, and we are a membership association of 900 colleges and universities with a nonprofit mission to advance access, equity, and integrity in the college admission process. And Reach Higher and Better Make Room found Common App to be the perfect home to advance our mutual goals and also to connect with the million students each year who use the Common App to apply to college. So it's been this wonderful, wonderful partnership and we've been able to do so much work together. And I'll tell you specifically about some of the Reach Higher and Better Make Room College Signing Day initiatives today. I first still want to bring you a greeting from Mrs. Obama herself. As I mentioned, she was a first-generation college student, and as she was in the White House thinking about what kind of work she could promote to help in the area of education, she reflected back on her own experience as a first-generation student. She reflected back on support that she did not get from her counselor when she shared with that counselor what her dreams were and what her aspirations were. She didn't want any student to have that doubt instilled in them. So she created the Reach Higher campaign to really inspire students to think beyond high school, to reach for their goals and to reach for a new path forward beyond high school. And that really is the philosophy that undergirds everything that we do at Reach Higher. So just to set the stage a little bit, I don't think I need to tell this audience that education after high school is critical to future success. You all know that. It's why you do the work that why you do the work that you do, why we do the work that we do. You can see here some statistics from the US Bureau of Labor that shows where job growth is going to be and who that job growth is really going to be reserved for, particularly in these post-pandemic days. And as you can see, the higher your level of education, the more opportunity you are going to have to advance your careers and your job opportunities. There's obviously a lot more to college than jobs, but the economic and the employment aspect are big ones, and we wanted to make sure we pointed that out to you. Well, let's talk about College Signing Day. What is it? Well, it's an opportunity to pause and to celebrate students who are committing to pursuing their education past high school. And that education can be a 2-year college, a 4-year college, a credential program, a training program, a certificate program. It could be in the military as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. College Signing Day was launched in 2014 in San Antonio, Texas. Mrs. Obama was there. There were a few hundred students, and it was really the first opportunity that she had to bring these students together and celebrate their aspirations for education, much of the way that athletes are celebrated through their own signing days. When you think about those ceremonies that you sometimes see, this was for all students, not just students who were being recognized for a particular talent. And fast forward to a few years, you can see how College Signing Day has grown from that single event in 2014 in San Antonio. By 2017, which was the Obama's first year out of the White House, it actually grew to 1,500 events. The folks who had been working in the White House and then stuck with the program afterwards were kind of nervous that first year out of the White House. They didn't know what kind of success they were going to get. They didn't have the government apparatus behind them, but they were able to muster 1,500 events across the country celebrating students and their post-secondary plans. And in 2019, which was the last normal year that we had reached 3,000 events. The biggest was held at University of California at Los Angeles. Mrs. Obama was there along with a host of celebrity friends and influencers and 10,000 excited, screaming, jazzed teenagers who were about to head off to college. It was an amazing, amazing event. And we were all primed to have a similar event last year in 2020. Unfortunately, as so many other plans in 2020, our College Signing Day aspirations were interrupted a bit, but that didn't stop us. We moved everything online, as you all did, for your own programming and your own celebrations. And even online, if you take a look at these numbers, the 4.4 million social media impressions, the TikTok views of student-led celebrations, the media accounts that were reached, amazing, amazing engagement and numbers, despite not just the fact that we were online, but if you think about May 1st, which is the date that I'll talk about in a minute, that was pretty early on in the pandemic and pretty early on in our quarantine days. We didn't know what to expect, but we were so excited that everybody really engaged with the new way of doing it. I mentioned a moment ago that college signing day, even though it has the word college in it, is not just for students who are heading on to four-year colleges and two-year colleges. It really is for all students who have created post-secondary pathways for themselves. So again, that could be a training program, a certificate program, a credential of some sort, or the military. We want all students to be celebrated. We want all students to feel celebrated and feel recognized for the thought and the care that they are putting into their own futures. So I hope as you are planning your events that you are thinking not just about the students who are heading off for two-year degrees or four-year degrees, but all students who are forging this pathway to a brighter future for themselves. But let's talk about how you can celebrate College Signing Day. And there are a few concrete steps to get started. The first is to tell us you're going to do it. We want you to go to bettermakeroom.org. Bettermakeroom.org is actually going to be a site for you to take specific actions and also to get a lot of resources. So you go bettermakeroom.org/college signing day, and you can register your event. Tell us that you're going to celebrate. You can let us know whether it's going to be virtual or if you have the luxury of doing it safely in person, you can tell us that as well. It's an opportunity for you also to share your social media accounts so that we can follow along with you and lift you up and repost and retweet and everything. We want to make sure that we are lifting up all of the work that you are doing. You also need to set the date. Now, I'll tell you, we are going to celebrate College Signing Day on the traditional candidates reply day of May 1st. Although, spoiler alert, we'll actually have a couple of special events on April 30th as well. But we know that May 1st is a Saturday, which means that some folks will be wanting to look for another day around that date, and that is totally fine. You can celebrate College Signing Day on any day that works for you. We would ask, though, that if you've got plans, either plans that have happened or plans that you will be doing after May 1st, that you still engage with us online on May 1st, because that is the day that we are going to be looking at looking for your posts and looking to retweet. And we actually like to think of it as College Signing Day season, not just a single day. That was especially true last year as college enrollment deadlines were shifting from May 1 to later in the year. It's certainly true this year as well. So pick a day that works for you and celebrate on that day, but continue to celebrate throughout the month of May. We want to see all of the great work that you were doing with your students. We want you to take advantage of the resources that we've put together for you. So again, at bettermakeroom.org, you can find this toolkit, and you can find also other guides and ideas and suggestions, including social media guides, where you'll find social media templates that you can use as you are celebrating your days and celebrating your students. So take advantage of all of the opportunities that we have put together for you to lift up students during College Signing Day. And finally, celebrate. That is what this is all about. When you share your excitement on social media, make sure you use hashtag College Signing Day and hashtag BetterMakeRoom. This allows us to track the social media impressions, which is a really important metric for us in terms of how well we are doing and engaging you and engaging your students. But more important than that, it allows us to see what you are doing, to follow along, to retweet, to repost, and to lift up all of the great work that you are doing on behalf of your students. Now, we know that this year, like last year, is probably going to be a digital college signing day for most of you. We know that some of you are in person or able to be, perhaps in small group settings, and by all means, we want you to pursue that in-person opportunity if you have it. But if you don't, that's quite all right. You can still do quite a lot. You can have virtual events where you invite different speakers. Maybe they're alumni from your programs, they're college representatives, current college students who can talk about what it's like to be a college student and how important it was for them to take that step to commit to continuing their education. Um, you can encourage your students, just like you are going to post information about college signing day using hashtag Better Make Room and hashtag College Signing Day. Tell your students to do that as well. They can create videos and they can put them on TikTok or Instagram or Twitter or wherever they're putting their videos. And we will look for those stories and repost as well. It'd be really exciting for them to get reposted. Mrs. Obama is going to be keeping an eye on things as well. So, you know, there's always that opportunity. She loves a great story, and I'd encourage you to tell your students that as well. Don't just limit this to the seniors though. You know, this is a great way to get juniors involved. And there are some action steps that that juniors can take. One of them is to create a Common App account to really, you know, begin the process of starting that pathway to college. You go to commonapp.org, create an account, add some colleges to the list, maybe a mix of colleges that they've heard of before and colleges that they've never heard of before that they can research and learn. It really will help them get ready, not just to complete their application, but really put them in the mindset of thinking about college as the next step in their education. So that's how you can celebrate digitally. There are a lot of other great ideas out there, and we'll talk about those in a moment. Oops, sorry. So again, continuing along with the celebrating online, social media is going to be huge. I wanted to make sure that you had all of our social media handles here. Again, I've mentioned hashtag College Signing Day and hashtag Better Make Room. Pardon me. And I want to make sure that you know what our various accounts are. Most of them are just at Better Make Room or at Reach Higher. And you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and most recently TikTok. We have gotten back into the TikTok game, and our social media team is an incredibly creative bunch. And if you keep an eye out on these accounts to see what well, you keep an eye out on these accounts for two reasons. One, to see what we're doing and to get updates on messages, but also to see what others are doing around the country as we all celebrate together. Now, if you can celebrate in person safely, of course, just want to point out a couple things. One, please just make sure you follow your local COVID-19 guidelines. We don't want anyone to be unsafe in this. But if you can reflect back on the programs of last year, the special events and celebrations like graduation, like promotion ceremonies that were sidelined by the pandemic, there was a lot of creativity to help continuing to celebrate the class of 2020. And it's that kind of creativity, I think, that the in-person events this year can take advantage of, as well as you look to celebrate the class of 2021. Drive-by celebrations were great. Having people wear college T-shirts to different events that might be socially distanced or college branded masks, because we know that they're out there. You can have ceremonies where you invite students and their peers and their families in small numbers, of course. But if you do have the opportunity to gather in person and you can do it safely and creatively, what a great opportunity that's going to be for students. I've mentioned bettermakeroom.org as a place where you can find a tremendous number of resources, especially those social media guides, graphics that you can use, accessories, things that you can print out, celebrating going off to college. Also want to encourage you on that website to sign up for the College Signing Day newsletter. That is something that we will be using between now and May 1st and even after. To update you on news and developments and different ways to engage. So please stay updated by signing up for our newsletter. We want to keep you as informed and connected as possible. One of the really special things about the Gear Up program is the range of students with whom you all interact and support. And I would say that while College Signing Day is meant to celebrate students who are heading off to their post-secondary endeavors, it is also a terrific way to engage younger students by getting them excited about what they see older students doing. So let's not forget about the middle school students who are in Gear Up, or even the elementary school students who may be the younger siblings of the students that you all are celebrating. There's so many great ideas that are out there. You can ask students to make a commitment. They can create a certificate that is a commitment to continuing their education, and so it is a reminder to them as they go through their schooling that this is something that they're striving for. They can dress up with t-shirts and college t-shirts and caps and gowns and all sorts of other things as well. And they can post their information about how excited they are to learn about college and eventually to apply to college and then go to college. For the family engagement officials here, this is a great opportunity for you to share with those families all of the excitement about the day, and encourage them to explore colleges together when they're at home. Commonapp.org is a great resource to go learn about different colleges, and I hope that you'll take advantage of that. But other events too, even if virtual ones, a virtual college fair or lunch, or inviting alumni or college representatives to come speak. Many other things as well. So think creatively about how you can engage those younger students, because it's really a terrific opportunity to get them thinking about the end game, and that is a post-secondary education. So I've thrown out some ideas here, but what I am able to tell you pales in comparison to what your peers around the country have already done. And so I would recommend that you get yourself on social media and you look for hashtag College Signing Day, and you then can see all kinds of ideas, creative ideas, students who have had in-person gatherings or virtual gatherings or online bulletin boards and videos and photos and colorful balloons and homemade posters, all kinds of things, all kind of budget levels. But the one thing that they have in common is celebration and joy. And so go online, look for hashtag College Signing Day on Twitter or on Instagram or our other social media accounts, and you can see what others have done in advance and freely borrow those ideas and make them your own and make the celebration your own. So let's just recap. We'd like you to go to bettermakeroom.org / college signing day and register your event. Tell us what you're going to do and where we can find you. We want you to pick a day that works for you and your community, whether it's online or whether it's in person, if that's a possibility for you. We want you to share photos and videos from whatever celebration you have throughout College Signing Day season, but especially on May 1st, if you've got that opportunity. We will be looking out for you, and make sure you tag us at Better Make Room, at Reach Higher, and use hashtag College Signing Day, because that's how we can find you. That's how we can reshare everything that you are doing to celebrate your students. And then finally, if you have any questions after this webinar, let us know. Email us at info@bettermakeroom.org. We will gladly answer your questions and connect you with other resources as well. So for more updates and information, again, check out our social media accounts. You can see them all here. You can email us at info@bettermakeroom.org and those hashtags: College Signing Day, Reach Higher, Better Make Room. We are here for you, and can't wait to partner with you to lift up the phenomenal work of your students and take great pride in their future plans and just celebrate with great joy as we move forward. And with that, I think I am going to hand it back to April to take over, and I'm going to come back on camera so that you can see us as we have a bit of an exchange about questions.
Yes, thank you, Scott. That was a great deal of information. I was taking notes because, at our INSEP office, we are celebrating College Signing Day and Decision Day along with our Gear Up community. So be on the lookout for a lot of communications from INSEP on all of our social media handles as well. But at this time, I'd like to invite you all for Q&A. Share your questions and share your comments as viewed here. If you're online, desktop, cell phone, go to the question mark, tap that, and then you'll be able to type in your question. And we already have questions coming in.
Great.
So all you have to do is hit the word questions or the question mark. I just want to also note that this webinar is being recorded, and so everyone registered and attending will get a copy to the link to get to this recording. And so before we start a question that has been coming in, Scott and I want to hear from you. So in the question box, type in your Gear Up name, your program. You can shout out your city or your state because we just want to know, who's online with us. And also, if you like, if you were part of that 9-10% that had 3 or more events, or the 45% that did 1 or 2 events, why don't you just share those ideas and maybe some of the successes you already had? Because I'm going to compile all of that information and share it out as well in the thank you letter. So we're going to start with our first question that came in. I actually wrote it down so I can make sure I get to it. But please, at this time, share who you are and what you're doing. So question number 1. Do we have to call it College Signing Day, Scott?
That's a great question. No, you don't have to call it College Signing Day. We know that some programs and schools might call it Decision Day because especially when they think about those students who are heading out to do something after college that is, something after high school that is not a 2-year college or 4-year college. Some folks choose to use a more inclusive term, or perhaps I should say a less exclusive term than just college. So call it College Signing Day, Decision Day, Celebration Day, whatever makes sense for you and your community. But the most important thing is just celebrate.
Thank you for that response. We have some more questions that have come in, but please note, Gear Up, you always come up with great names. So is it like College Signing Day with Gear Up? How about Level Up, Gear Up, Level Up? It's College Signing Day. Any name that you choose, you know that our mission is always the same. So get creative with your name and your dates as well. So just know we are celebrating beginning in April, throughout the fall, throughout the spring, all the way to the summer, all the way to the fall. We don't stop celebrating in Gear Up. So just know, share those dates, locations, online information with us so we can celebrate with you throughout the next couple of months. I see that we have some people shouting out here online. So, wow, we have Thomas University Gear Up. We have, Los Angeles, LA. Okay, Los Angeles Gear Up. And I also see a program in Washington State. So feel free to share who you are and where you are joining us from. So the next question, Scott, that came in, my school will be in person. Great. How should we celebrate in person?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you will be in person, right? It's wonderful to celebrate in any form. Much of it will be virtual, but nothing beats being together, right? That's really what this is all about. What education is all about, learning together. And so I'm so glad you can be in person. I mentioned a few ideas in the webinar itself. I would say, think back on some of those celebrations last year that at the last minute when we all had to hit the brakes, went virtual, and what did you do then? Those drive-by graduations were great. You could very easily translate that into a college signing day celebration, and dressing up in t-shirts, or not even, it doesn't even have to be college t-shirts, school colors, right? Wherever you're going, if you're heading off um, to Louisville, wear red. If you're heading off to the University of Virginia, wear orange and blue, right? Whatever it might be. So, and you could make signs, and really, I would say anything that you would do in order to uh, show your spirit virtually, you can do it when you're together as well. So I think those are some ideas. And again, I direct you to hashtag College Signing Day, just to look at what people have done in the past. There's so much creativity out there. It's really a terrific opportunity to learn from others who have done it before you.
Thanks, Scott. Just want to shout out a few more people.
Sure.
Programs we have: Arizona Gear Up. Thanks for joining us. Maryland Gear Up is in the house. Okay. Wow, a lot of you are plugging in your names and your programs. So I'm going to go to a next question. But before that, I just want to add a little bit to what Scott shared. If you don't have any of the college colors, or, it may be a little tough getting college t-shirts, in the mail, you always can wear the blue and red Gear Up. And if you go to our website, you can download, I Heart Gear Up and the different logos and things that we have related to Gear Up, as well as connected to the college signing day information that's on the Reach Higher website, and really get creative with a lot of great things. Like those picture frames are also cool. I saw a lot of those last year because you can hand make those, or you can print out different things and have students glue different logos on there. So don't let our circumstances stop you or hinder you from getting excited about this. We have another question that came in. Okay. Can my school, oh, I love this question. Can my school receive a special message from Mrs. Obama?
Yeah, that is a common question, as you might guess. And I will say, as I did at the outset, Mrs. Obama is going to love everything that you all do. We can't take any special requests, can't really pass them along. There are a lot more of you than there are of her. And so unfortunately, we're not able to do that. But I promise she will be following along on social media, watching those videos, watching those photos. And you never know what might catch her eye to want to retweet or highlight, or hold up. I remember last year when she did that for some students and some schools and some programs. Boy, they were over the moon, knowing that they got that recognition from Mrs. Obama. So while we can't promise anything special, or I shouldn't say special, it's certainly special, anything personalized, you can rest assured that she loves this program, she loves these students, and she loves the celebrations, and she's going to be following right along with the rest of us.
That's great to hear, Scott, because we are excited and want to make sure that we keep the movement going each year, this year, and every year after that. And also, I want to add a Gear Up community. You can always invite your local leaders to join in, your mayor, your governor, city council, the superintendent at the school districts, the college presidents in your area. I know our INSEP GR group would love if you connected with them, because there are so many people that care about what you're doing and would not mind joining you in this celebration. You can even think about different businesses and nonprofit organizations that are in your community to join you. So thank you for that question. It was awesome. Great response, Scott. I'm also looking at a few more uh, questions. So just know, Gear Up community, I have dual monitor. So I'm reading questions from over here. I'm not ignoring you. Would we be able to make a slideshow or video and then post it on college signing day or week?
Sure, I think that would be a fabulous idea. make it in advance. You could take some time and figure out how you want to curate those photos, or include that. Maybe you're doing it as a surprise for students, right? And they don't even know it. And maybe April they're taking some pictures of their students and putting those photo frames around them and celebrating kids in that way. What a great surprise it would be for students to see that. I think that's a fabulous idea.
Okay, great. Thanks for that response, Scott. I'm going to pull another question from here. So yes, we are recording. I see that we have some fellow Gear Up educators that came in a little late. Yes, we are recording this webinar, and you will have access to it in our thank you email, as well as it'll be on YouTube. So we have another question that came in. Okay, they want to know, when you recommended working with middle and elementary school students, how do you feel about our seniors or Gear Up seniors doing messaging to those students? Because I know the educators are doing a lot of the messaging, but what would be any advice that we could give our Gear Up seniors in messaging to their younger siblings or elementary and middle school students?
Sure. I think that is a fabulous idea. There's probably nothing more powerful or impactful than a high school senior who's about to head off to college or a training program, or something, that we're celebrating, um, reaching out to a younger student and saying, I was where you were, and this is where I am today, and I got here, and you can get here too, right? That's the message. This is possible for you. And those older students who are about to head off to their post-secondary pathways, there's no better model for younger students, right?
Mhm.
Than the ones who have made it and who are about to do it. So, what a great way, I think, to engage the whole community by um, finding a way for those older students to act in that model capacity with the younger kids.
Yeah, thanks for that response, Scott. Also, Gear Up community, think about this. You have first year college students that are former Gear Up alum. Welcome them back, especially via Zoom or live webinar, where they can come in and share, like, I was part of the Gear Up program. Currently, I'm enrolled here, or even alum that are currently in careers to come back and share their pathway with the Gear Up support and how they are successful today due to the opportunities that your current seniors are afforded at this time. Another thought is always represent your college and university where you went, Gear Up community. I remember when I was a middle school teacher and I shared with my sixth graders that I went to this college and I took them on a college tour. And then we bumped into one of my professors. And the amazement of my sixth graders going, "You went to college, Miss Bell? That's your teacher?" Like they couldn't understand, like I'm an adult, but that I was their age one time. Then when I started being an advisor in high school, we celebrated similar to college signing day, but this was a little bit earlier before the campaign came out. And one thing we did is we had the principal do a lot of messaging because it was important that they heard their voice. So think about that, bringing in your school district leaders and the high school, middle school, and elementary principals, just saying that they're proud of the students that you're supporting. So I'm going to take another question. So I'm going to go here and look. Okay. Should we focus on juniors the first time we do it? Or, during the college signing day, should a lot of the attention be with the juniors? Or, what are your thoughts about that?
I think you need to put together a program that makes sense for you. I also think it really, college signing day represents a great opportunity to get two bangs for the buck, right? Or even more than that, right? So absolutely celebrate the seniors, the ones who are heading off, but don't forget the juniors. I think the lift with the juniors doesn't have to be big. It can just be encouragement. Again, Common App is a great centralized resource to direct them to just have them create an account so that they can see what is this what is this college application process that I'm about to embark on, or what started all of this excitement that I'm seeing today, with the seniors being celebrated. So I wouldn't leave the juniors out if you've got the capacity, even just a little bit of capacity to write an email, send it out to the juniors, ask them to follow along on your own social media channels so they can see their friends, no doubt, who are being celebrated, but then also encourage them to explore colleges as well.
Mhm. Thank you for that response. Another idea, Scott, is also having students to write essays. It's not too early to start the practice of writing an essay. Your juniors, your sophomores, your ninth graders, and have an online assembly if you're meeting online, or if you're meeting in person, have students write poems about going to college, or reading plays about going to college, anything that's connected where their voice can be heard.
Yep.
One thing we always talk about in the Gear Up community is student voice. Of course, we as the adults want to celebrate them and give them all the messages, but equally let them celebrate themselves, celebrate their peers, and have them come and share. And I do love the idea of focusing on juniors because they're jump starting everything this summer. And so getting a head start on those things while the celebrating is going on is a great way to utilize this initiative. So thank you for that question, Gira.
Sure. And I would add something, because what you're framing right now is really focusing on sort of an educational piece of this as well. And as I think about, there was a question a couple of minutes ago about middle school students and maybe connecting the seniors to the middle school students. But another thing to think of is, maybe give each middle school student a college that's somewhere else in the country, and ask them to spend 15 minutes on their website and see what they can learn, and just explore and see what questions that brings up, right? And what a great discussion that could be for those students as well.
That's a great idea, Scott. Make sure you write that down. Gear Up Community is always a great time to add that educational component, that college career readiness, because sometimes we have to mix it in with the celebrations, and not let it be a standalone. Because some of our students, we need to pull them in any which way we can to get their minds thinking that this is true. They can make it, they're going. So I have another question that just came in. So we have a family engagement specialist online. Can you share any tips related to their role as family engagement specialist in this Reach Higher Decision Day, College Signing Day initiative?
Yeah, one of the things that I love about Gear Up is the family engagement role, and how important it is, that in the work that you do, you're making sure you're engaging the family, because it's the family together that's going to get these kids to college, or to training, credential programs, whatever comes next. I think one of the things that perhaps the most basic thing that a family engagement specialist can do would be to let the families know that this is going on, and encourage them, if they're on social media as well, just to follow along so that they can see the excitement that is out there. And it's not just the excitement, it's people lifting each other up, and that becomes so evident on College Signing Day when you're following along with the various hashtags or account. For families to see that as well, I think is a really, really powerful thing. It's also an opportunity, perhaps, to depending on how old the students are and where the families are, to maybe introduce to the families some of the concepts or the topics that they're going to need to be deeply involved in. So maybe it's about financial aid, maybe it's learning a little bit about financial aid, or the FAFSA, or the fact that college can be an affordable thing, because often it's perceived as not, and no doubt, there are funding issues out there related to college. We all know that, but there's also opportunity in helping families understand what that opportunity is. So I think college signing day lends itself to educating families about the kind of messages that I think you all would be engaging them on anyway. You're just doing it within this framework of joy and celebration that I think makes it even more tangible to them. And so that's what I would hope the family engagement specialists could do.
Thank you, Scott. You hear it, family engagement specialist. You got your marching orders. And so it's important we engage the families. That's part of our benchmarks. And then Scott mentioned financial aid, introducing students to how they're going to finance their college engagement, and also thinking about applying for scholarships. This is a great introductory initiative to have students start exploring scholarship opportunities and actually applying. There are scholarships online that go back to fourth grade. I remember finding those when I was an elementary school teacher, as well as when I was working with the lower grades in the high school where I was an advisor. I jump-started college scholarship search. Say that 3 times, early as possible. So it's definitely something to do. And so at this time, I would like Scott to share any final advice to the Gear Up community, but don't go anywhere because I have a couple INSEP announcements that I want you to hear. They're very important. So we're going to let Scott share his final words, but stay on with me because I want to share more information. Scott?
Sure. I would just echo a couple of things that I said in the webinar. Number one, make sure you remember it's not just about the students who are heading off to 2-year colleges and 4-year colleges. It's for all students who have post-secondary plans. Let's lift them all up together. Number two, tell us what you're doing. Register your event. Register that event at bettermakeroom.org/college signing day. We want to learn what you're doing. We want to get your social media accounts. We want to be able to follow along. And then finally, look for ideas. For those of you who are like, oh, how am I going to do this? What should we do? How can we be creative? Go search for that hashtag college signing day, see what others have done in the past, and borrow those ideas, borrow them liberally, and make them your own. And it's going to be a great day. We look forward to seeing you guys on May 1st and throughout the whole month of May.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Gear Up community, level up. We have a lot to do, and we have enough time to get ready. And so thanks, Scott, for sharing that wisdom, knowledge, inspiration. We're always appreciative to connect with Common App and the Reach Higher community. And so I have my INSEP Gear Up announcements right here. So let me get this underway. All right. Submit your nominations for the INSEP Gear Up Leadership Awards. The deadline is May the 13th. Our programs department, led by Betty, is waiting to receive these. Every year you each have those great leaders in your community that are doing wonderful work. So directors, think about, who can you celebrate? But also those who have great directors, think about celebrating them as a Gear Up leader, and submit your award application to us as soon as possible. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to anyone here at INSEP to share information, questions, because we'll be able to assist you with completing your application as well. Well, I am so excited to share with you about this. Our CCC, Career and College Clubs. I want to let you know that this college career readiness program and curriculum starts in the 7th grade through the 12th grade. And it's recently been enhanced, and it has a number of developments and enhancements that have improved the curriculum. So it's a perfect time to reach out to Kelly via this email address, ccc@edpartnerships.org, where she'll be able to tell you specific information. Members, you get a discount on the curriculum. If you have any questions about membership so you can get the discount, reach out to me. And I'll be able to help you with that as I collaborate with Kelly. So we are excited to hear from you about that. So our next announcement, Study Lab. If you have not heard about INSEP Study Lab, it is a great professional development resource written, disseminated, and made for you, Gear Up community. It's not for anyone else. It's made for you. These courses are covering key topics for every role in the Gear Up community: directors, evaluators, coordinators, family engagement specialists, college access professionals. So you can visit our website, edpartnerships.org, Study Lab. Once you hit that page, it'll give you all the information that you need, as well as give you a sneak peek into all the courses that are available. And Gear Up members, a course is only $25, and you can take it anywhere, anytime, and you could bundle courses as well. And they're for beginners, moderate, as well as experts. So there's something for all of you. And so finally, I'd like to share that I would like to invite you to send me topics that you would like to hear about in a webinar. I'm putting together now the Fall 21 series. And what we at INSEP want to do is make sure we're bringing you the topics, the experts, the information that you care about. So feel free to meet me on the quad, and you can send me a DM, or you can reach out to any of my colleagues, or you can just email me at april_bell@edpartnerships.org. So thank you, Gear Up community, for joining us. Again, thank you, Scott, for representing Common Apps Initiative Reach Higher. We are very thankful that each of you joined us, Gear Up community. We hope you have a safe and pleasant day, and look forward to the thank you email from me coming soon. Bye-bye.